Turn it down, buddy. Black Power, y'all. Are we on? Okay. Welcome. Greetings, folks. Who is on the line here? We got Busy One in the house. Power to the people. We got a lot to talk about today.
Oh yeah,
Chat.
definitely.
How we doing today? Queen Janae is in the house. This is your co-host, MOJ, your favorite policy analyst. Put no boots on the strap.
Right.
Sister Janae, what has been happening, Sister Dear, this week?
Oh my goodness, so much is happening. So much, so much, so much. We had the fallout of calamity, calamity
Woo!
with Kamala. We finally over that. So now what do we do? Okay.
Yes. Oh,
What do
yes,
we
yes.
do?
That's the burning question. What have we been doing and what we going to do coming 2025? Well, family, there is a lot of procedures that we're going to go on over the table with. But today, we just want to have you breathe and relax and soak it all in because come in the next 45 days, family, we're going to have to do for self like we should have been. Self-determination, that's the key. So we have a lot to cover for you tonight on Black Power Radio. And we're thankful. Give a shout out to our hostess with the most, our national chairman, Sheikh Imam Akbar, who will be in the building pretty soon, pretty soon. Now, currently, we got Brother Ra. It's on the line. Shout out to you, Raheem. What's happening over there?
Assalamu alaikum, Black Power salute. Thank y'all for having me on board. And community initiatives focus on motivating and mobilizing the youth and focus on mobilizing the black community.
Perfect, but it works.
Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, just basically focus on mobilizing the youth and education is a forefront. You got a lot of organizations that deal with guns and training and everything, but we rather just get these kids educated and get them in historical black colleges nationwide. So that's our main focus out here, and just hitting the East Coast from Hampton and Newport News to DC to Philly to Jersey, New York. Just mobilizing, getting people involved, and having them realize like we really are at war. Excuse me, I was playing basketball earlier. And just having the people realize we really are at war. You know what I'm saying? Like this government is not for us. It's obvious. You got daggone Trump and the Ku Klux Klan administration now. Nothing but whitey. You know what I'm saying? And so we ain't got no choice but to mobilize and unify as a people. You know? And so people gotta lock in and seize the time. That's all I got going on out here.
Oh, I just had the mute busy one. That's all. So, Brother Raheem, we got big plans going on, my brother. You ready for this? You think you can handle this type of pressure right now? We pulling out all the stops to make this.
You've been molding me. You've been molding me and putting me in position for the past almost 2 years, unbeknownst to me. So I'm on the line.
You said you was the man for the job. Now you got
On the
some big,
line.
pretty big shoes to fill, brother.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
need
You do
you to
too. You know what I mean? You
mobilize.
leading the charge. You know what I mean? You say go. You know what I mean? I'm shooting from the 3-point line. You
Man,
know
you
what I
see how
mean?
hard it is, though. We've been through so much
Absolute.
this week. Oh my goodness! But we
Absolute.
are forward
Absolute.
to
I was locked in last night
organizing.
on the I don't even want to say the show name, but I was up there just locking in, look, learning, and listening. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying? And there was some good
definitely.
points. You know what I mean? You already know one person I disagree with, but he was making some good points because I'm not a hater. Everybody made some good points. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's just me. You know what I mean? Everybody made some good points. You know what I mean? But 3 out of the 4, man, listen, you know what I mean? Once they X and they saying they want to leave, let them leave, bro. And they ain't representing what Dr. Khalid Muhammad stood for, then what they representing. You know what I'm saying? Like the boy said he
Exactly.
read the instructions, the manuals back to back. He used to fall asleep memorizing it. We can't tell.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Old boy Bobby running with the white folks. He doing lawyer work for
He is the white
CSX.
folk. Look, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah. I seen that whole flyer. He
can't be
doing
the
lawyer
man
work
and
for
be against the man at
CSX.
the same time.
Like,
I don't
you know,
understand how that
Black
works.
Panther? You a White Panther.
Thank you. Okay. But this is Black Power Radio Show, your most informative radio show on and news, TV and news media show. Aaron, how long we been running? The last 13, 14 years. Never missed a show, never missed a time schedule. So we are on time. Where you are right now is where you supposed to be. You could be anywhere else. Like Shaky Ma'am say, you could be with Tiger Woods or Venus Williams on the golf course or on the tennis course, but you're right here with us on Black Power Radio. So,
Watching the PGA tournament.
right.
That
You
part.
could be doing
All
something
this time.
else, but you are with us tonight. Yes,
Lord
and
mercy. I've been muted all
yes,
this time. I'm trying to chime in. Yes, ma'am. Oh,
okay.
soccer mom practice. Don't forget soccer mom practice.
Yes,
Soccer
But
soccer
mom
mom
fatness.
practice. We could be doing a whole lot of things on our Sunday night. But we are here to give you the real information in the Black Power movement. All no funnies.
yes, sir.
All jokes aside, we have got to organize. I didn't even know I was gonna rhyme with that, but definitely we are working, and I invited a few people to come on the call we had earlier, and I totally forgot to put Black Justice Initiative on the line, which that was I was a part of the Black Justice
Oh,
Initiative before I even began with the new Black Panther Party. And in our efforts, we were a part of that movement with the uniting the East Coast and the West Coast gang members from the inside. Like I was totally
mhm.
involved in that with right before Nipsey Hussle was murdered. He was on
Mm,
his way to the meeting. People don't even understand how important his passing was to the movement in general. Okay, they will
that's
do
right.
anything to keep us from uniting.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. Kill you and blame it on somebody else. Hire somebody to kill you and blame it
That's
on
right.
them. So
Hmm,
it's very important that you all take in this information. Don't let it fall on deaf ears. Share the information. Get actively involved with youth organizations in your area and let them know what we're attempting to do by uniting them for Proposition 6, to end indentured servitude, and for Queen Mother Pamela Smith, who was raped and abused as an incarcerated inmate. We gotta tie all of
that's
this
right.
stuff in. Y'all gotta understand this is a universal movement. Everything
Mm-hmm.
that we've been working on, we can tie it all into this system. The prison to school, school to prison pipeline, the incarcerated inmates, life after incarceration, all of those things we were
Yes,
working on prior to this point right here. So now we're here. Where do we go?
that's
What
right.
do we do, y'all? Go ahead, Dr. Trupe.
Where do we go from here? And that's precisely the question of the hour. Now, I was yesterday years old, family, when I tell you. I thought The Black Panther Party started in 1966. Well, lo and behold, family, they actually started in 1945 in
Mm.
Germany. And we are going to talk about the real history of the Black Panther Party. This ain't your usual grandmama's television or podcast. You're going to hear exactly directly from horse's mouth where it started. And we have a couple of guests on here today as well. I wanted to do a brief introduction. And you have met him before. He was on our podcast last week. Brother Will Smith from the Virus Movement. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, sis. How you doing?
What's happening over there in
You got it,
Buyer's
man.
World?
Yes, ma'am. And it's Will Price, minus a slap. Will
It's
Smith.
all in.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, you ain't got. I just got right on. So we ain't pimp slapping. No Chris Rock today. No
Thank
sir,
you.
no sir. So can you give us an update on the Virus Movement for those who have missed this important process of what we the people are going to be taking in 2025, and what is the petition, so to speak? Just in short. So welcome to
Okay.
Blackpower Radio. We are here with esteemed guest, and we're going to talk about later in this show the history of the Black Panther Party. But the virus movement has a particularly important process. And what exactly is the virus movement for those who need to know?
All right, well, the virusmovement.com is the website that's designed to allow us, as not just descendants of the chattel slavery, but all Americans, to be able to register our demands of our representatives, that they actually do what we expect them to do, or else they won't remain in office. Ralph Nader set precedents in getting 500 signatures on a petition in a voting district to be able to get a representative, and 1,000 to be able to get a senator to attend a town hall meeting where we can make demands of our elected officials that they actually do the bidding of us, the voters. And if they don't, we can actually hold them accountable and hold a recall vote. So virusmovement.com, it has a petition and a survey that's designed to allow anyone and everyone who believes that our elected officials need to be held accountable, and for those who want to make sure that they do what we want, the survey is there to have you just fill it out. And once we get to 1,500 signatures in that voting district, we will be able to let everyone who signs it and our elected officials know what exactly we expect them to do if they want to remain in office and not invoke the recall process.
There we go, plain as day. So, family, we're going to find out in your district who is going to be taking over that seat in 2025. It is so important, again, for us to hold the Republican Party accountable for what the Democratic Party has done as well. Neither way, we the people are self-determined. But we have to understand that there is a process that we have to go through. And that is what the virus movement is all about. So we're going to put that in the chat, virusmovement.com, and then look over the petition. Very simple. Make sure you identify your Congress. Your Congress is currently the one that is holding your keys, our keys, the keys of which they have to turn in order for us to cross inside. Now, what are those keys per se? It is our land, reparations bills, restitution, the Black agenda, the legislative process that we don't have, the George Floyd Policing Act, just to name a few. So these are the things that we are still waiting for, but we're going to wait no more. So that's why the virus movement is very important, family, to really look onto that petition. We must have power in numbers. Power in numbers. That's what it's all about. It's not about talking about it, but it's about being about it. And that's where we are. So thank you, Brother Will, for giving us an update. And if you haven't, again, please log on to the virusmovement.com. And then we get an update on the petitions as well. So thank you, family, for tuning in. If you hear my voice, I'm a little under the weather, but that doesn't stop Black Power. We got to keep it moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relate to our next, who is here on the line with us as well. We have a brother from New York, Avier Collier. Avian Cali, I butchered his name already. And what's happening for youth mentorship in New York? He has a brilliant program called Heroic. And that is where we want to mentor our youth into sports as well as policy and legislation. Brother Will, are you here with us? And Brother Avian. Sorry.
I am indeed.
All right, stand by. Thank you for being here with us. Brother Avia Collier, are you here with us on Black Power Radio? Shout out to Busy One Entertainment. If you haven't downloaded the app, please download it so you can hear us live on Black Power Radio. We have a lot of guests coming up for next week, preparing for not only Sankofa coming up in April, but we're looking for our musicians, artists. So if you're a spoken word artist, we definitely need you to have your materials sent in to General Janae, and you have to be good. Got to be good. We don't want any mom and pop starter ups. Conscious music. If you have any links, we need you to also put that in the chat. If you have some new music, or if you got a friend that does music, please share his link right here on Black Power Radio. We're planning on keeping the dream alive for Black empowerment, and that's what it's all about. All right, so if we can get Mr. Avier Collier up, and who else is on the line? We hear some music from Black Power Radio. All right, while we cue up the music, as I told you earlier, family, I was yesterday years old. And the Black Panther movement, as we thought here today, was a powerful political group that started in 1966. Main purpose was to gain freedom, was to feed the community, was to empower our people, provide protection. But wherever there's a start, there's always a beginning to that. So, Brother Will, since you are here still, can you give us a brief background on the Battalion 761 Panthers in Germany while we queue up our next video?
Gladly. Now, this is something that comes as a bit, I won't say a surprise, but it's definitely welcome and unexpected in that one of the most important groups on the planet right now, not necessarily because they're doing good things, but because they're influential, happens to be the Israel lobby on Capitol Hill, AIPAC. They are the ones who control defense spending, and they're very influential, as you know what's going on over in Gaza and Palestine. Now, what's interesting is that up until the Tuskegee Airmen got involved with were allowed to actually fly and fight in the war because they thought the Black people were inferior, that we didn't have courage, we couldn't follow directions, and we weren't good team players. It was only when the Tuskegee Airmen showed up, because the white pilots were afraid to, that they actually found a way to outperform and actually repeatedly defeat Hitler's far superior air force, who was shooting down everything that the white pilots were throwing at them. Well, that's what allowed for Hitler's tank manufacturing capability to be destroyed. Shortly after that, it was Patton's Panthers, the Black Panthers, the originals, Patton's 761st Tank Battalion, who was, because they were deemed less capable than the other white soldiers, they kind of had to do their own thing. And as such, they actually discovered 3 different concentration camps, and they liberated the Jews in these 3 concentration camps. Many of them went on to form the modern state of Israel that we know today. Now, what's interesting about that is that the Jews who were actually in these extermination camps, if you will, they'd never seen Black people before, and neither had the Germans. And when they saw them showing up, they were fierce fighters, they were well coordinated, they were effective at what they did, and they literally destroyed Again, the three different concentration camps, and the Jews were so impressed and so in awe, so in love, so touched by what it is that the only soldiers who had successfully done this kind of stuff for, they actually wrote poems about them, like The Black Messiah, written by Sonia Weiss, a Holocaust survivor. They called them Savior, Messiah, angels. And it's these Black soldiers who are literally the only reason that the state of Israel exists today. So, in conversations with very high ranking rabbis, rabbinical judges, Dayans, historians, they actually acknowledge that if it was not for the fact that these Black soldiers did what no other soldiers had done repeatedly, that Israel would not exist. So a life debt is actually owed to the Black soldiers, Patton's Panthers, the original Black Panthers, and to them, they're probably the most influential players, the only ones with the moral and spiritual authority to make a demand that Israel actually cease fire now. The big deal is we haven't made a request, coming as the only ones who actually have earned that type of respect by the Jews. So it'll be interesting now that the ICJ has been petitioned by South Africa and a number of other countries joining them to actually, acknowledge and then arrest them, Netanyahu and his other players, for war crimes. But the fact is, none of this would have even happened if it were not for the Black Panthers. So we have a unique destiny that we've already begun fulfilling, and it's an honor to be here with you all. Thank you for what you're doing, because we got a lot of work to do moving forward. And I think that we do have something unique that we can offer the world right now as Black people, as Black Panthers, and as the ones who have truly put it to the test, that we're inferior to no one. And we do have value that they have to respect, because that's why we're here, the chosen ones.
Right on, right on. Absolutely. So we're going to play a clip on the history of the Panthers. We're going to set this cue up. We go share the screen. And in the meantime, Avron Collier, he is backstage. So right afterwards, we're going to introduce him and the wonderful work he's doing out in New York.
Continuous operational deployment. In November alone, the Black Panthers lost 24 men in combat, along with 81 wounded and 44 non-combat related fatalities. With the German army on its heels by mid-December 1944, after bouncing from one infantry division to the next, the Black Panthers were informed about the beginning of the Battle of the Bulge, Germany's last-ditch effort to hold the Western Front by splitting Allied forces and capturing the Allies' vital resupply port at Antwerp. Ordered to proceed immediately to the southern tip of the Bulge at the town of Bastogne, a place in the Ardennes forest where all roads converged. In conditions of night, fog, and snow, the Black Panthers fought their way to the Germans' vital resupply point at Calais, engaging in a brutal attack on the German army's flank, ultimately proving victorious in one of the most pivotal battles during Germany's last significant offensive. On March 21, 1945, Supreme Allied Commander Dwight D. Eisenhower commissioned Task Force Rhine, which included the Black Panthers and the 409th Infantry, with orders to break through the Siegfried Line and advance to the Rhine River in Germany. Considered the beginning of the end, For Hitler's years of military aggression in Europe, the 400-mile Siegfried Line was built to defend the Rhineland, with 18,000 interlocking bunkers and pillboxes connected by tunnels and roads, minefields, and pyramidal cement barriers known as Dragon's Teeth, all of which made for gritty fighting for the 761st and the 409th. Achieving their goal on March 23rd, the Black Panthers continued the fight into Central Europe, all the way to VE Day on May 8, 1945. During the war, the Black Panthers received a Presidential Unit Citation for its important contribution in the Allies' victory over Nazi aggression, along with one Medal of Honor, 11 Silver Stars, and some 300 Purple Hearts, making the Black Panthers of the 761st one of the toughest fighting units of the Second World War. And there you have it, the Black Panthers of World War II.
Who would have guessed? All right, family. So we just saw that. How many of us knew that the Panthers actually started in 1945 in Germany? Let me hear about it, family. What was your history mindset on where the Panthers began? Who do
Well,
we have up on the stage today?
I would like to start the conversation because the irony of us mentioning the original Black Panthers and the Tuskegee Airmen and their contribution to liberating the Jewish concentration camps. Um, Currently, I'm working on a project to recognize African American soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. I have not served in the military, but I worked at Arlington National Cemetery for 5 years, buried well over 1,000 veterans. And so I will be speaking with my congressman this Thursday about moving forward a bill to appropriate funding to do research and to erect a memorial for Black veterans. Um, the irony of this is comical in a sense. Um, and so being on here, hearing this information and things that I've been working on for the past decade since I've worked at Arlington Cemetery, it comes to fruition to know that other Black folks around the country know this history, and so we have to collectively make an effort to get this awareness to all of us. And so being on this call and being able to contribute on my efforts moving forward and pushing the story of African American history in the military is something very vital for me. Currently, I am with about 6 veterans that I grew up with personally. This is something we do every Sunday. We watch our football games. And so to participate in this and to be able to have the opportunity to present something that I'm working on directly is a blessing. And so I thank Dr. Truth Bay being on this call. I thank Brother Will Smith and his information and knowledge that he's sharing. And so I'm happy to be on this call and to be able to contribute. But it truly is a blessing to be able to put forth this information. Also, other things that I've worked on. I know Dr. Truth Bay, I've mentioned this to you, but the full extent of some of the work that I've done in the United Nations, I worked with and contributed on bringing forth the permanent forum for people of African descent. So following the calling of Malcolm X, let's not talk about civil rights, but human rights. And so we have a forum at the United Nations and its 4th session, April 14th through April 17th, calling on people of African descent globally to collectively talk about our issues that we have fighting against us on the human rights level. So I thank Dr. Truth Bay being on this call. I think all the other guests having the opportunity to share the work that I do, especially when it comes to veterans and the work that they do to give us the ability to put forth our efforts of not just being Americans, but showing that we earn every right that we have here today.
Hey, I would like to offer, I'll put it in the chat. I have a link to the untold history of blacks in the military. And I've met with a number of different historians, black soldiers who served in numerous wars, including with the builder of the world's largest Ukrainian church, where all the refugees are actually being processed who are coming to the United States, Russians and Ukrainians, as well as veterans from a whole bunch of different wars. We got together at the church Dad built, we like to call it, Rancho Arroyo, which Al Wilson Jr. built, a black soldier, veteran, airman, Tuskegee Airman. And we've been working on this. It's a pretty large presentation. I'll put it in the chat when I find it. And it basically is an untold story of the numerous contributions that black soldiers have done throughout the years. We served in the first war since Crispus Attucks, and that was a Revolutionary War, and we've served valiantly in every war since then, and
Yes,
we're
sir.
still adding unique value today. So I'll put that in the script or in the chat. And yeah, thank you for honoring our veterans. That's a blessing, and it's important. Black veterans matter.
Yes, sir.
That's right. And I actually went to a show yesterday. It's called A Beauty Queen's Dream. And it was based on the historic forgotten soldiers of World War II, the Civil War, families of the Civil War. So it was a wonderful play. And shout out to Wanda Way Rillis. This was a play that we did in Santa Monica Boulevard. And we're going to put up the video for that as well. But speaking of our soldiers and paying homage, that voice that you heard earlier was Brother Avron Collier. Brother Avron Collier, welcome to Black Power Radio. Thank you so much for being here with us, avid for the youth. And can you tell our listening audience, our vast listening audience, who is Avron Collier and what is heroic?
Peace and blessings. So heroic is an initiative that I created back in 2011 when I left college, and it is an acronym for Humans Everywhere Reconstruct Our Interconnected Community. I think it's vital that we look at each other as humans first, and we understand that the structures and systems that we have today, they need to be broken down and rebuilt. And so it takes a collective effort as humans first to do that. And obviously, as a black man in America, I'm going to advocate for black people, but I encourage that we break down these systems together. But first and foremost, I would do it on the effort of black men and black women and black children, and
Hey,
especially
hey.
raising our black youth, understanding that they have the right for self-determination, just as every other organization, every other group and minority group have here in America. Uh, when I left college, I was a Division I football player at Syracuse. I moved down to the DMV, uh, DC, Virginia, Maryland area, and I worked on a defensive contract at Arlington National Cemetery. I began my work as heroic, and created with Richard Taylor, a son of a colonel, black veteran. We created Operation Hunger DC with another collective of former Division I athletes, and we began doing work within the community. Upon doing that, it gave me the opportunity to see the gaps that we have within our community, the gaps that we have, and the disconnect that we have within our youth, especially among the educated population in the black community. And so we have to get boots on the ground and really show that we care about these young people. And we created an initiative called Off the Streets in the Cleats. It was a summer football program where we partnered with numerous organizations within the community, but primarily with Under Armour. And they provided within the 2 years over 1,000 pairs of cleats, as well as Adidas, about 200 pairs of cleats to kids in the inner city DC area. And so moving forward, I brought these initiatives back to my hometown, Rochester, and continue trying to use this model within other communities within Black America.
Ashe, Ashe. Thank you so much for that, brother. And from the cleats to the streets, and precisely what is the background for that? And tell us a little bit about the use of flag football. How many of us know about flag football? I was, again, yesterday years old when I was learning about flag football. Tell us, for those who may not be sports inclined,
Yeah,
of this
so
project.
with flag football being introduced into the Olympics in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, home of Dr. Truth Bay, flag football would be an inaugural sporting event. And so, in doing so, we seek to use off the streets and the cleats to promote flag football on a global level. Knowing that it is going to be in the Olympics, why not Black folks educate other Africans around the globe and create job opportunities, create economic uh, vehicles within African nations, within Caribbean nations, where we can find people of African descent to drive the economy and grow. So partnering with
Yes, sir.
Dr. Truth Bay and the many initiatives that we are going to be putting forth to our congressional leaders, to our legislative leaders,
Panther Network.
and the Panther Network. I see the NFL flag as a unique opportunity for us Black folks in America to take what we have uniquely in America to people that look like us across the globe.
That part right there. And we need to really encourage our young people. We're tired of the same old routine programs, rehabilitation programs. We got to really merge with what their top priorities are, their top interests are, which is music, number one, and sports. So I was so grateful to meet this brother Avron. He was met through a couple of other groups before that he was in. He's been doing the work for quite some time. But to be an all-star, you played football for Syracuse University, right?
Yes, I played at Syracuse University. Outside of that, my high school career, I was a high school All American. I received offers from the University of Alabama, Clemson, Pittsburgh, and had multiple other offers and got to travel the country and had been blessed with so many opportunities to see the fruits of the labor of our former veterans of what America has to provide for us. And so being able to have access to wealth in a sense, it was a
Yes,
great
sir.
opportunity to understand what America is and the opportunities that we do have. And we can't take it for granted, uh, athletics, because it opens up doors not only for education, but it educates us in a healthy living. One thing that I do pride myself is being healthy, and that's something that we can
That's
grow
right.
across the globe. And with my initiatives, there is a three-prong approach, and it's not just based on athletics. There needs to be a nutrition and health part and a medical aspect as well. And that's the unique opportunity that we present when we're bringing sports and entertainment to these other countries. Sports, we can't just look at it as from an athletic perspective. We got to look at the economics of it. And so when we're bringing sports programs to new communities, we have to not just bring the sport, but we have to bring the nutrition and the medical side as well. And these are things that I've worked on
Sir.
with numerous organizations at the United Nations. And I plan on bringing that not only on the global level, but bringing it back home here in America so we can show proof of practice that we can lead our own communities.
That's right. This is it only it's all about the babies. And I'm so grateful that you starting that process. There's so many great young people, our black youth out there. I'm telling you, activists that are boots on the ground, that's serving their community. Queen Janae, shout out to you. She's been doing it for many, many years. And our national chairman, Sheikh Imam Akbar, who just entered into the building, also has been helping the community out. He's actually down in North Carolina, helping out a lot of the flood victims out there. You know, Hurricane Helene, it did a serious number out there. Oh, my brother, he has 2% left on his battery. So we're gonna make sure that we want you to close out with how a word to the youth, particularly Mr. Collier, before we relinquish the mic to our host, Sheikh Imam Akbar. So, what is it that you'd like to tell our young people in 2025? What is the vision for them and the hope and inspirational quote, Mr. Collier? I hope he didn't die. My brother is on a mission. He decided to come on
Oh,
Black
no,
Power
no,
Radio
I'm
out in
here.
the
I'm
field.
here. I'm here. Uh,
Okay.
my
Yes,
mission
sir.
and my word to our youth is get ready, get prepared. There's going to be a plethora of opportunity for them. And so, to all the youth, be encouraged. Know that there is still hope. Know that we have not left you behind, and we are here to uplift you. We are here to mentor. We are here to be a part of the process in growing our community. This isn't about me. I've had my success. I've done what I can do as a youth, and now it's time for me to give back. I'm here to uplift you. I'm here to hear what your wants and needs are for your future. I'm a father, so as a father, that is what I pour my life into. I pour my life into my kids. And so with that
Right on.
mentality through these programs, they are a part of my collective of kids. And so pouring into them, I want the future to look the way they want it to be and not how I plan to dictate it for them. And so just be ready, be open to opportunity, coming from an athletic background, and be coachable. Be
There you
uncomfortable
go.
with change
Ooh,
because
that's
there's
a
going to be a
t-shirt right
lot of
there.
change. We have to push that message forward that this transition is not going to be easy. uh,
No.
get comfortable being uncomfortable because people are going to fight
Amen.
back and push against us, but do not be discouraged. We have plenty of generations that we can look back upon that push the needle forward and has had setbacks, but don't be discouraged. We have to keep pushing, and keep pushing. It don't stop.
That's right. Keep on moving. And please we need some microphone drop background music to this, please. I love it. I love it. I love it. And
uh,
then that's what it's all about.
Peace and
Hit him
blessings.
again,
We
Peace
Mike
and
love
Tyson.
it.
blessings.
The
Yes, we
one,
love it.
two.
We love it.
We ain't gonna mention Mike Tyson now. That's kind of embarrassing. Oh, we not gonna go there, sir.
Hey, that's our brother. That's our brother. And so is he.
Right on. So again, Avron Collier from Heroic Youth Initiatives out in the Big Apple. And so we want to give a shout out to all of our youth activists nationwide doing the work. And every week we are going to always have some positive moonfall on our people bringing forth the change. And so be ready to be uncomfortable, family. This is a show that is most informative, but it tells you the truth of what you need to do. Sometimes you may not like it, but oh well, just do the work. National
This,
chairman, are you into his house?
this conference proves you're
And
doing it right.
his eyes is in the Z, he is out. Hey, what's up? Oh man, this feels wonderful to come in on the black drop or the backdrop. Be encouraged and get uncomfortable and be uncomfortable being uncomfortable. And all this energy from the black youth is what inspires me to do the thing that we do here at Black Power Radio. Of course, we have the most informative radio talk show on the internet anywhere on Facebook. No look, Instagram with no ham. We also got it on Twitter and Glitter if you look hard enough. But we're live here at Black Power Radio. We want to welcome you. We want to thank you for sacrificing from, yep, I got two guys that just left for the Tiger Woods tournaments in Augusta, Georgia. So they off to get their green jackets tonight. They didn't make it, but you showed up. I'm so happy that you joined us tonight on Black Power Radio. Um, you're leaving us? And then another guy said he had a date with Serena Venus Williams out at the Arthur Ashe tennis court. So they're going down to the tournaments at Arthur Ashe. But I'm glad that you stayed with us here at Black Power Radio. Stick and stay. Don't you dare go away. You're tuned into Black Power Radio, the most informative radio talk show anywhere in the full, complete, and entire metaverse, universe, or anywhere else on 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. We're fired up. We're here in North Carolina and bringing the simple food supplies, the things that you have been taking for granted, like having power. Many There's far too many here in Asheville, North Carolina, that don't have enough water. That they can't find a consistent supply of drinking water. They don't have power. They don't have electricity. Anything you can send out here in the way of a generator, alternator, anything. If you can build you a A1 power cell, then you're welcome to bring your lithium and your good works to Asheville, North Carolina. The people again, are the point on the triangle and the most left out, without a doubt, when it comes to rescue and bringing disaster relief to a natural disaster such as a hurricane, tornado, flood. I mean, these people they just wiped out the whole area very nearby where we camped out a long time by the Lowe's Hardware. Right next door is a U-Haul. Both are inaccessible. A whole road not accessible where the needs and services are the greatest are some of the wipeouts in Asheville, and it'll be a long time before these things will be rebuilt and reopened. There's no electricity in big sections of the community, and they're constantly the power. What it got? East side, East Coast, electric and power, as you see in Washington D.C. They have Potomac Electric in Georgia, Georgia Power, and Maryland has its own source in Baltimore Power. But I'm here to tell you, these people have no power. You say black power is a lifestyle, then you need to bring some black power and your lifestyle right to Asheville, North Carolina, where the needs of we the people are not being met by the federal government, by the FEMA, the SEMA, and anything else that's been invented by Ronald the Reagan, or if you would, what's some of those other famous ones that came out? Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer, and all of those that came up with the Trojan horse. There is no Trojan horse in the midst of Asheville, North Carolina. But I will
America's
say to you,
doing
brother,
business as usual.
for real, white is on the moon, and there
Yeah.
ain't no help on the ground. And if it's there because you brought it there, and we felt good giving the supplies, the food staples, the clothing, and it was a massive turnout on the water. And please continue to pump the water, the bottled water. Please bring it to to Asheville, North Carolina, any of those surrounding cities that got hit. Wherever the tornado and the hurricane would touch down, is where it left devastation. And I think we cannot talk enough about coming to meet the needs of we the people. And we thank you all for bringing the attention. We thank Hocus at the 4th, 5th Rabbit Hole. He kept his commitment and came on through. Along with that, Sister Yoli, Sister Lynette, and a dozen more with Sister Lux and all those great ones. You know, Joseph had the drone. This is a young man flying his drone throughout our yeah, you got to give it up for Joseph, young man, powerful young man. And all of these young people that I'm talking about, including Mr. Collier, who just left the airways. These are our 10,000 black messiahs that are bringing the truth and bringing energy. Hocus at the 4th, 5th. Can't say enough about him. And Sensei, and Yoli she took the lead on bringing and being assured that things were coordinated and all the operations went smoothly and all the connections were made. So it's been a wonderful relief operations. We can't say enough about it. Um, you must get busy where you are to bring the 4th Rabbit Hole to Harlem, New York. We want to stop the sensationalism that we add every year and become the stimulus package for Best Buy. I don't know why I single out Best Buy, but I can give you at least one reason why to not be a stimulus package for Best Buy this year, and go to Harlem and stop in at Adam Clayton Powell all day long. We'll be there on Black Friday on the Jannah May in the spirit and the legacy of the Honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad and all of those that sincerely follow him and those that continue to support the efforts for Black Revolution being the only solution to aid and assist the Black people. Where's the stimulus package to stimulate our economy? Where's the
That
rate
part.
supplement? Yeah, to to
Hello.
to put some some support for the Black people's effort here. If we built this shit, we didn't build it for Orange Toupee and them to run this shit. We built ours to supply our own leadership. We may be temporarily out of pocket, temporarily without our full potential, but we're on the way black, on the way back to our full potential on this soil, on this land, on this day, which we declare must come about by any means necessary. Black power, Black Power, strong
Shit.
Black military to actually black that call for Black revolution and for Black power. Now we know we're the most informative radio talk show in the metaverse universe and in any other verse you want to attempt to bring to the table, to the front line, to aid and assist we the people at this hour and put emphasis on Asheville. I can't just forget that all of the devastation that wiped out people's homes, their trailers, even containers turned upside down, automobiles flipped and turned by the wreckage from the winds and the rain and all of the twists and turns that you find in a tornado hurricane disaster. Well, it's kind of doubled down on Asheville, North Carolina, and I can't say enough about it to just please have some assistance and aid and send it, bag it up, package it up.
You muted. Unmute your mic. Unmute your
Oh,
mic.
family, did we
Yes, ma'am.
lose him?
Uh-huh. Huh.
No, he muted.
Okay. Okay, Black Power. We black in?
Yep.
Okay, Black Power. There is a brother that
Yes, sir.
uh true fans, man. Now we got, I'm always suspicious of people not from Nigeria. I won't tell you no lie. But she met this brother from Nigeria and his promises to aid and assist us in going into these major cities and making a change, making a difference on the ground. And brother insists if everybody gives a little, then nobody has to give a whole lot. We need a team effort in all of these cities to repair, to rebuild, to start up new developments, new community centers, and some are going right on out into the country as we have done here in West Virginia and other spots, and just started the organic farming going on in Hancock, Georgia, in Maryland, West Virginia, D.C., on the Nat Turner land. We have it going on there in Emporia, Virginia. These are no exaggeration, real spots, real people demonstrating in Preston, Maryland, the property of Harriet Tubman. Janae, you've been on there, is that right? And that's
Oh
right.
yeah, plenty
Oh, yes, man.
time.
And plenty of times. And we got farmers that black people growing organic food and supplying and meeting the needs and demonstrating that we can supply our own food, clothing, shelter, and transportation at this hour. And if we get somebody in the AI mega universe, then we're going to do some AI and smoke that too and say, my. Thank you so much for allowing me to make the comments and say
Oh,
black power, and a strong black military to black the call, black power.
All right.
Building
Praise
our
that
nation and true manifestation. Keep on, baby. Keep on.
Absolute, absolute.
right
God.
on. So shout out to the families out there in Asheville, North Carolina, and just part of the areas where Helene just decided to devastate. And we thank God for national chairman and others out there. Shout out to the Rabbit Hole as well. Havoc, I believe. Make sure I get their names right. That was on the show last week. Holding it down in the field, Brother Ty, and all of the comrades out there. Again, if there is somewhere to donate, $77 Bakers. You can Cash App as well so they can get some water. And Sister Janae, can you give our listening audience a location for people who want to donate any resources to the victims of Hurricane Helene?
Yes, you can donate to 77 Bakers. Shaky Man Makbar is on the ground. He's leading that operation right now. So, or it is
Right
Hocus.
on, right on.
What is Hocus name on? Is on Clubhouse. It's a group on Clubhouse.
Rabbit
Hocus
Hole.
Rabbit Hole. Yes, they're doing an excellent
Right on.
job. You know, I wish I could have been there, but I had a prior engagement. But I saw the pictures, and well, if you got the picture, shoot it to me, and we'll post it because that's good work, y'all. Yeah, one thing y'all can't talk
Yes.
about
Absolutely, that's good.
our national chairman is he putting in the miles and he puts in the
Facts.
work.
It's all
And what you
facts.
say, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Talk about
You can say
active.
what you want to. They do a
Non-stop.
lot of talking, but they cannot outmatch the work that's being done right here out of Washington, D.C.
I feel all
Okay.
facts. And
So
prayers up for the
know
families in
that.
Asheville, North Carolina, man. That's facts,
Yeah.
man.
That's
Pray for
right,
people
Asheville.
in Asheville, North Carolina. And it's a shame we got Panthers all over the place, but we can't get organized enough to mobilize where it's needed. This is why we got to put all that nonsense aside for times like this. Our people
Right.
are not prepared for this of this nature. They are
That's right.
not.
Disaster.
Mhm.
It's all called disaster relief, family, and that's what we were saying. We for years got to mobilize and have our alternative. Have your sheds, have water stacked up to the T, have dried food, um, shelter underground. These are the things that we're saying that we have to have it done. And majority of the spaces is not enough when we have devastation like this. But again, our beloved, and shout out to our comrades that are out there with the families of Asheville and beyond in that surrounding area, helping them to repair. Now we're going to our next topic, family. There was a very devastating news that happened. I would say devastating, but actually some good news. The family, the daughters of Malcolm X, Malik El Shabazz, decided to file a lawsuit against the CIA, FBI for their involvement for Malcolm X's death in 1965.
Absolute. Right
What do you
on.
think? Yes,
Yay!
yes.
Absolute.
So whatever's done in the dark comes to light. When I tell you, I was shouting to hear this type of news. So
Way
let's take
overdue.
a look.
Way
Way
overdue.
overdue. That's
Facts.
right. That's right. So let us hear some of the quotes and the reason why Malcolm X had it, don't know, um, of why it's significant to us nowadays. Let's let me get some tech. I'm going to share the screen, family, and then we're going to talk about the Million Youth March, rounding up on today's topics. Very important to mobilize our young people from now. So while I set this up and read the story, so it is yes, $100 million that the family sues for the killing of their beloved father. I tell you, I'm so grateful, honestly, to know that accountability is in order. It is not something that we have an option to as Black folks. Doing with the history here, it's owed to us. It's due a repair, but we must have these things accomplished in real time, not just in dialogue, family, not just in
Stop
dialogue.
sleeping at the wheel. That was New World. I said, we must stop sleeping at the wheel. If you don't hold them accountable, they will not step up.
And it has, and as such, it has been impossible for the Afro-Americans or American Negroes to try and enlist the support of other dark-skinned people who are being oppressed the world over in that struggle. And the difference now in the direction that the struggle is taking from the direction that the struggle has been going in the past, there are many of our people who are thinking more deeply and more broadly and are beginning to see the importance of lifting it out of the national context or out of the domestic context or beyond the jurisdiction of the United States government. And the only way this can be done is by internationalizing the problem and putting it at a level where it can be taken into the United Nations, and then all of the other independent nations on this earth can involve themselves in our struggle and support us. And the only way by which this can be done, instead of it being called civil rights in the future, we're going to have to label it a human rights struggle or the struggle for human rights. And as such, we can then take it into the United Nations through the avenues that have been set up by the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. We can take our problem before the United Nations in the same manner that the problem of South Africa, Angola, Mozambique, Hungary, the Arab refugee problem, it becomes a world problem. And as a world problem, then the Afro-American or the so-called Negroes equal results, because it's not left up to the one who's responsible for it anymore, but it's put at a level where the whole can see that our plight is wrong. It stood in our path in the past. It also makes a difference in the leadership. Those who have been posing as leaders of our people in America in the past, they can pose on this local stage where Uncle Sam is the master of the show and can prop them up and make them look good or make them look better than they actually are by giving them token gains and building them up an image. But when they step onto the international stage or the world stage, then Uncle Sam can't prop them up anymore. And their ability or lack of ability becomes exposed. And if they can lead us forward, they remain leaders. But if they can't, then they have to step aside, and more qualified and bona fide leaders step up from the masses of our people, and then we get faster progress. We get more results. The Afro-American or American Negro intellectual perhaps permitted himself to be used in a way that wasn't really beneficial to the overall Afro-American struggle. But I think today these intellectuals have begun to undertake a new appraisal of the problem, looking at it as it actually is, and are beginning to see it more in the international context and the relation that it has with the African struggle. And the African intellectual is beginning to look at the problem in the African context and see that what might be good in one country, in order for it to be used in another country, has to be rearranged. You take African socialism. Many of the African intellectuals that have analyzed the approach of socialism are beginning to see where the African has to use a form of socialism that fits into the African context, whereas the form that is used in a European country might be good for that particular European country. It doesn't fit as well into the African context. So,
Lord of mercy, we can watch this man all day. And I tell you, family, this is the reason why they had to get rid of him. Almost a similar reason why they did the same to our ancestor Martin Luther King when he started naming names, talking about he'd been to the mountaintop. They didn't want to hear that. But again, whatever stays in the dark comes to light. So let's take a look into this lawsuit here that the three daughters, let's pull this story here. I am so grateful again. And this is, of course,
and two pilgrimages that brothers and sisters should make to is 125th Audubon Memorial, Harlem NYC, and the new Shabazz Center out there in California. I think it's in Los Angeles. I just learned about the Shabazz Center a few months ago. But those are two pilgrimage brothers in the movement definitely should make. You know, there's a lot of people who make pilgrimage to Mecca and elsewhere, Africa and everything. And it's beautiful to go to Africa, but we got to pay homage to Brother Malcolm X, where he was assassinated at, and Martin Luther King.
That's right. That's right. So the Shabazz Center, yeah, that's located on 39. That's off Broadway as well, here in LA. Okay, so why have they started it now? I say better late than ever. The Audubon Ballroom has been one of the most turning points and prolific of Malcolm X's day. So the leader has six daughters. Yes, he has Attila Shabazz, Quabila Shabazz, Ilyasa Shabazz. I always butcher their names, but Gamila, Lubamba Shabazz, Malika, and Malak Shabazz. And they've been pretty active in keeping their father's legacy alive. And so to hear that now they're taking the time to, or they're taking the support, as we say with Benjamin Crump, oh, Benny Crump is helping leading the charge with this case. So let's hear what's up with this story. Hold on. Here we go, family. Share the screen. Okay. Let's queue up. Let's queue up that video.
To stop the killing. All right, Fox 5's Teresa Priola joins us now in the newsroom with more on their accusations and what they're hoping to accomplish with the suit. Teresa.
Yes, Stephen and Natasha, attorneys for the family are combing through files that are 60 years old. They are talking to witnesses that have never been spoken to by law enforcement. They say they will leave no stone unturned in their quest to figure out who or what was behind the assassination of Malcolm X.
We here today officially announce the filing of our $100 million lawsuit against the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X.
The assassination of Malcolm X was a defining moment in the 1960s civil rights movement in the U.S., but questions have always swirled over how it happened and why. Today, the Shabazz family is formally alleging multiple agents.
Oh, my family, we know why. We know why. We didn't have to have some good white folks to tell us on that, but we knew exactly why.
Agencies of government knew about the plot and stop it.
The government fingerprints are all over the assassination of Malcolm X. And finally, we believe we have the evidence to prove it.
That evidence includes firsthand accounts, affidavits, and they say evidence that was not gathered in 1965 or in the decades since.
Mustafa Hassan was present on the day that Malcolm X was assassinated. He is prominently displayed in these photographs. Why would it be that no one, for almost 57 years, never heard from him, never spoke to him, never took a statement from him?
Facts.
This is law enforcement who has the ability to question witnesses.
The wrongful death lawsuit was announced at the
Conspired in conspiracy, time after time.
Malcolm X was a prominent member of the Nation of Islam, an African-American Muslim group that promoted black separatism. He broke from the group in 1964, which prompted threats on his life. In response to the lawsuit, the city's law department said, quote, the law department will review the case. So the family.
So yeah, I had to play a clip from Fox News. You know, some of us we don't really believe news until it's told by the mainstream media. But nonetheless, we want to continue to give our perspective, and I'm so grateful again. Shout out to Benjamin Crump. Shout out to the remaining children that decided to take it to another level and seek justice for Malcolm X. Who else do we want to see justice for? We shall wait and see.
In the
All right,
words
well,
of Steve Coakley, a good white source.
that part here. You can't even see me. Where am I? I'm missing in action, family. I just a black hole right now.
We
They
got
can't.
your back, Black Power. That's what it does at all times. You ain't by
They don't
yourself,
erase
never.
my image, family. Family.
God's got you, the ancestors got you, we got you too. We got your 3, your 6, and your 9. You right on time. Keep on working, baby girl.
Hey, hey. So you just continue to hear my voice. So, family, that really is what we're coming up for today. The history of the Black Panthers. We're going to have an in-depth look as to who the battalion was in 1945, and then continue on with the Black Panther Party for self-defense starting in 1966, of which that inspiration came from. So we are grateful for you to join us on Black Power Radio this evening, where we are the most informative radio show on the planet. It is not your usual news and TV podcast. We're here literally in the comfort of our Black Power living room, having a conversation, sipping a little wine here with conversation for our people. But what needs to be done, family? Again, we have less than 40 days to get it together. The tides are turning. If you don't feel it in the spirit, good family, if you do not feel it in the spirit of what's happening right now, things are shifting in our favor. So we have to be prepared. We got to be prepared. And here on this platform, the petitions, the House resolutions, legislation, the movements, keeping an eye out on those doing the work out there. That's where it's all about, keeping the dream alive by highlighting our brothers and sisters doing the work. But you got to do the work yourself as well. So it's not just the footwork, but it is also the studying, the researching of what needs to be done right now. Next week, we'll be talking about the update of Proposition 6. Brother Samuel Nathaniel Brown, that joined us a couple weeks ago, right before the election, pushing Proposition 6, which is the clause of slavery removed from that Constitution. As we know, in Article 6, where it states that we cannot be punished unless we are punishable by a crime, we cannot be endured as indentured servitudes unless you are incarcerated. And that's the loophole, as they said brilliantly in the movie 13th. But unfortunately, family, Proposition 6, also known as Measure 6, has not passed. And what that says, state of California, oh, we got some work to do. Oh, you got some people that literally want to either keep slavery, but one thing that we did mention was when you did go vote, Measure 6, Proposition 6, was not the same language in the actual ballot when we voted in person. So, with that being said, family,
Sabotage at the ballot box.
damn right. By any means necessary, they do it every time. And so, because of this, family, that contributed to a big downfall as to why the bill didn't pass. But I'm sure if the language of the actual voting ballot reflected what Proposition 6 really was, it would be a whole different story. But don't fret, nonetheless, family. We are still going to mobilize the nation. And I want you to go to abolishslavery.us. That is abolishslavery.us. Abolishslavery.us is the muscle and the support behind Proposition 6. It is the clause that's a nationwide movement that has removed the word slavery from, I believe, 30 states. 30 states right now have taken out the word slavery out of the state constitution, which means for our brothers and sisters behind the wall that is currently going through mistreatment, punishment, denial of parole, denial of bail, no telephone calls, just to name a few deplorable conditions. If you remember our brother Malik that was actually eaten alive in Fulton County Jail, the conditions were so deplorable. So I tell you, family, this is necessary step for us to really mobilize and have your local Congress, have your governor to remove that clause, slavery in mass incarceration. Absolutely not. We should be able to continue to have this on the ballot. And so, with that being said, keep your eyes on the prize. And I would like for you to join us tomorrow on Black Power Radio, where we will continue the dialogue on the history of the Black Panthers. We are mobilizing our people nationwide for I would say a facelift of some sort, a redefinition for our young people, our Black youth out there, and the principles of the 10-point platform is more relevant and needed today than
That
ever.
part, 10-point platform, exactly.
Absolutely. And
Absolutely.
so, Brother Raheem, can you tell us a little bit about why the 10-point platform to our listening audience is so vital for a time such as this?
I mean, at the end of the day, like the 10-point platform was established because we want our own land, we want our freedom, we want our rights, we want exemption from military services, we want our political prisoners set free. You know what I'm saying? So we want to basically have
Right.
our own institutions, our own group economics. So we basically got to go out there and do for self by any means. Like I see the brothers selling oil, see the youngins selling water, see youngins doing car washes and pressure washing homes, whatever type of business that come to your mind. I don't care if you're selling cryptocurrency, like get involved and do for self so you could become self-sufficient and set up generational wealth for your youth. And because that's what
Right.
these crackers doing. That's what the whiteys doing. That's what they doing every day. You know what I mean? You walk up and down the streets, you see white businesses. Now you see the Mexicans setting up their own businesses. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do the
Yeah.
same. That's all across the board, 50 states. Should be no reason why there's not a Black Wall Street within the next 10 years in every state. And they ain't gonna shoot us down. They ain't gonna bomb us down. They ain't doing none of that shit. We ain't having that. So we ain't got no choice but to go out there and put our best foot forward and do exactly what our ancestors are on our shoulders forcing us to do. You know what I'm saying? To break out this bondage and break out the bondage mentally too. You know what I mean? The crabs in the barrel,
Yes.
people bringing each other down. Like, I'm not here for it. Like, I'm more about building, and everybody that's around us is about building each other up. Like, each one teach one. I learned from Sister Truth Base, General Janae Nzinga. I learned from National Chairman Akbar. I learned from Brother New World. I learn from every time I come on board. I learn because we're students, stools. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all once again and salute. And that's the whole point of the 10-point platform is mobilizing each other and getting each other out this bondage that we've been in for almost 500 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you, King, holding it down in Philly, and there's so much work to do. So much work to do. So, what we want to relieve for an anniversary? How many of us remember the Million Youth March back in New York? Let's take a look down memory lane, and this is precisely what we need to bring back, family. Go video. If we can roll that media.
Young brother and sister, be a doctor if you want to be a doctor. Be a lawyer if you want to be a lawyer. Be a scientist, be an engineer if you want to be an engineer. Just use your talent and your knowledge for the benefit of your people.
We bear witness that the African man, woman, and child, when you beat us down, when you rape us, when you steal from us, we always rise to the occasion. Always rise to the occasion. At this point in our struggle, we must be clear that our youth are essential for us to move on to the so-called next millennium. We won't get to the next millennium if we can't save our children.
This march is just a part of what I would call the healing process that we as African Americans have to go through with each other. You see, it's a thing of us. It's a thing of us coming together and learning to love one another. You know, it's not a point of ostracizing or keeping everybody else or completely separating everybody else. But first, you have to learn how to come together with each other before you can start worrying about everybody else and everybody else's problems.
Open the gates! Open the gates! Open the gates!
You hear like a lot of negative things, and it's not like that. You see, kids see the cops. My children saw the cops, and they got afraid. I want her to know that Black people can't stick together. It's not what you see on TV.
Let's go. Happy Nuke Happy
All right. So that was just a few activities that is in the original Million Youth March. This is back in 1998. That was 95, but that's actually the Million Man March. And so that was a time, family, where we want to have a remembrance, an anniversary, so to speak, of having today's Million Youth March in 2025. So we're going to mobilize the masses, and anything that you're doing right now, family, we're looking for a few good organizations to lead the charge in organizing this anniversary of the Million Youth March in honor of our ancestors. And I think this is perfect timing. Again, Malcolm X, Khalid Muhammad, and Martin Luther King, just to name a few, Huey P. Newton. And for our brothers behind the wall, Mumia Abdul-Jamal, we are still actively, this brilliant brother who has donated his intelligence and his time to building a journalism school for our youth. And so, again, we cannot allow the opposition to continue to keep our people down while we are lacking in organizing, and we will lack no more. So continue to listen into Blackpower Radio while we have a plethora of guests lined up for 2025, many of them that are doing the groundwork as we speak. And I'm so grateful again for you to tune in. Shout out again to Busy One Radio that's in the house. Please download the app, download Busy One Entertainment, or listen to us live on Busy One Radio. And we're going to give our Queen Janae Nzinga any last updates. And I'm so grateful again to be your co-host here. And this is Dr. Truth Bay, MOJ, on the lay.
Right.
Black Power.
Black Power. We have had an action-filled show in the last couple of hours. The meeting we had before the show was awesome. Amazing. Looking forward to organizing with the different groups for the Million World Youth March. Is that what we're doing?
Our babies, the Million Youth March. That's right.
Youth March. So we are going to reach out to all youth organizations. I have the Black Justice Initiative, which we have the Life After Incarcerated programs. I reached out to my comrade, and she's on board. She's bringing some people from Baltimore. Can't remember their group name, but we are mobilizing. You know, one monkey don't stop the show, and that's for sure. And we have got to do this for our youth. We've got to get the youth involved So if you are a youth and you want to be involved and possibly spearhead this rally, there's room for everybody. But what we're not gonna do, like the young man said, is we're not gonna put stuff together and tell them what they need to do. We need to talk to them and ask them what do they want to do moving forward. What kind of world do they want to live in?
Oh, facts.
That's right.
All right.
And
That's
that's
the
the
basic.
change. Oh, I'm so grateful. So grateful. That's right.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this opportunity because this is not just for women. It's not a women's march. It's not a men's march. It's a youth march.
That's
It's
right.
a youth movement. It's
For
what
the
it needs to
babies.
be for the babies, like Dr. Collins said. And I wish we could get some of that footage from the youth march. Do you have any of that, sister?
Yeah, actually, we're gonna play more of that for tomorrow's show. We
Tomorrow.
do have, yeah, I do have one more video that we'll play before we say arrivederci. But we're
Mhm.
gonna keep you in mind if you are a group that's interested in mobilizing. As of now, we will be setting up committee teams. Just tune in. Come January, you'll be in your area mobilizing the schools. So we're giving a shout out to the HBCUs, particularly the Black student unions. We're giving a shout out to you, Black churches. Oh, you definitely got to be in the forefront, whether you are a mosque or a synagogue that contains people of the African diaspora, Pan Africanists. This is a time right now where you can show and prove how much you care about the youth in your own capacity. I know that we do. We do. We will live and die for our babies, and so we need to do it on one accord, on code. There is one more.
Not problem. Hey, as we push the get the flyers for the Million Youth March ready, let's make sure we hit the historical black colleges. Like every person, every comrade that's in every city, go straight to the historical black colleges. Don't even, you know what I mean? Just go straight to
Right
them,
on.
and I guarantee you it'll work. Like even myself out here and a few other brothers and sisters will hit Norfolk State, Hampton U, we'll hit VCU, Richmond. We'll go hit we'll just go up and down the East Coast if we have to. You know what I mean? We'll network with people as well. So that's to be a beautiful thing for the youth. Million Youth March, salute, Black Power.
Black Power. And it's not just going to be a march, family. It's going to be a benefit concert, everything rolled into one. It's not like your yesterday's our grandmother's rally, but we definitely going to pay homage to the historical points. And DC is the nation's capital. So we owe it to our babies right then and there to start off and send a message to America and the treatment towards our Black babies will cease. So we're going to queue up for some more footage of the original Million Youth March back in '98. Here we go. Let's queue up that beautiful bean footage.
Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Black Power, Black Power, Black Power, Black Power, Black Power, Black Power.
Oh, family, we've been redirected.
Uh-oh.
Hey, hold on one second. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Not as fast as we need to be, family.
I want to give a couple of shout outs in the interim as you're getting it to reprocess. Um, is my mic hot?
Wall Street.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
My mic is hot. Black Power, Black Power. Give a shout out to Master P, to all of those that gave and contributed to the First Million Youth March. The Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz, the Honorable Hashim Akhenaten Nzinga, Brother Cornell X of Houston, and the list just goes on across the country from Tupac Shakur to Ice Cube. All were great contributors in the legacy and making a success. Meat Mill, damn near all of the rappers contributed to the success of the Million Youth March. And we hope that you'll continue the effort. And this is nothing better that you could do than to bring together the youth, everyone from the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad said, if the youth is not involved, it's just like a dead tree that produces no fruit, that is and it's bare. It's barren if there's no
Right
youth
on.
involved. All right. So we must continue to kindle the spirit of the youth, turning over whatever we have to bring for the surgeons, not the researchers, but the surgeons of our youth. They've just been dormant because we have not kindled the blaze to propel them and to usher them into the dynamic of their authority, their leadership, and their and to show the best of their talents. For lack of a better term, I don't know no other way to put it. But every nigga's a star. You just gotta get over it and get used to it, and knowing that we're the best that ever did it in many fields of endeavor, many avenues of human development, that we have not gotten our patents for our inventions for running the modern world. We have not gotten our props in sports entertainment, in the romantic arts, in the fine arts, music, in the poetry, and everything that you can think of as far as developing the talent in the human being. I believe that our network of we the people can take the championship in anything that we decide to call an endeavor. We can take the championship. We can potentially win. And not just because the skin we in, but just because of who we are on the planet Earth. And we the best that ever did it. I land my plane, but please support the Million Youth March. It is the best thing that we could possibly do for we the people. Let's say my.
Dom Skippy, thank you so much, National Chairman. And
Black
for
Power,
sure,
National Chair.
yes, we'll always have an opportunity to get involved. We got plenty of time, but yet we don't. So let's get on the ball and have your local organizations and people that you know will be a great leader in this endeavor. And let's give our babies 100% of all we got. Let's just take it down memory lane. This is some more footage of the original march in 1998.
Wall Street! Wall Street! Wall Street! Wall Street! Black Power! Black Power! Black Power! Black Power! Black Power! Black Power!
Giuliani. He sure was the mayor back then.
Giuliani still ain't shit.
Hey, no. He's just like,
and protect us from this day forth and into the new millennium. We facilitate.
That's Sister Soldier talk praying for the group in the background.
that part.
We hope that the young people here in this city will pursue education to its highest degree and put God first in everything that they do and begin to develop themselves. To me, that's what this march is about. Young people wanting to have self-determination.
Of the reactionary camp of Giuliani. Giuliani will be saying that they finally got the message.
We're dead. They said we'd never wake up. But the Holy Quran today is being fulfilled. Every time there's a funeral in the black community, it's got to be a funeral in the police community. Huh?
Arcade. And I call Muhammad!
There you go. There you go, family.
Black Power!
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black
power.
power.
Black power.
Power to the
Black
people.
power. Globalization, i.e., the New World Order, is nothing but plain old white imperialist greed. And we must understand that black labor is one of the most powerful and strategically important voices in our midst.
Around you, here they are. Look at them. Charlie, Harambe, 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 Harambe.
Beautiful. My gosh, family. I can't wait. I can't wait. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Yes. And we're going to put a new
Black
twist.
power. Black power.
Black power. Black power. It's something so beautiful about us as a people. They know who we are. Everybody knows who we are. The creation of almost everything. The beginning and certainly will be the end of civilization with us. So with that being said, I am so grateful again, my beautiful Black people, to reminisce on how strong we are as a unit. So I look forward to hearing from you. If you are an organization that is interested in taking the lead charge in mobilizing our youth, please drop right on in and join us on Black Power Radio and tell us about what you are going to bring for 1% of our resources, time, and income into building a better future for our Black youth. They deserve us, our Cubs. And so that being said, thank you again for joining us on Black Power Radio. Relinquish the mic to our national chairman, Sheikh Imam Akbar.
And thank you again, Dr. Critical Race Truth Bay, for your input as a host and as a major contributor and as our National Minister of Justice. And she wears so many hats, and she wears them well. Each of her hats is her hats are marks of distinction in leadership, in stage presence, and how we are to do our presentations. She set so many examples for us, and we can all learn something from our National Minister of Justice, the Honorable Dr. Critical Race Truth Bay, and all of those soldiers that are lined up. She got youth lined up from New York City, from Harlem to Los Angeles and Crenshaw, Slauson, from Inglewood, Black to Compton. She got them lined up from Los Angeles to San Francisco and from Oaktown all the way up to Seattle, Washington. You better can you with her trail might be a better question. She got them lined up in Norfolk, Virginia, and all the way down to Alabama, up and down South Carolina. She goes these places personally. This is what I'm saying. You keep wanting to wear your national title, but you got to live that national. See what I'm saying? And that's the thing that far too many will want to take on these roles and take on the title of responsibility. But how many of us are willing to take on the work and the responsibility of that national title? Then we love Dr. Critical Race Truth Bay here. And men hated on by many, but loved by all the righteous and sincere people. Love them some Dr. Critical Race Truth Bay because they know she has come to make a difference in the favor of we the people, regardless of land, label, or language. When it comes down to Dr. Critical Race Truth Bay, she's moving on the affairs of the people, just like Dr.
Real
King,
recognize
like
real.
Malcolm, just like Fannie Lou Hamer, like Harriet Tubman. She is the Underground Railroad, moving in from underground, from Louisiana to Alabama, Alabama down into Atlanta, and rolling on up into Norfolk, and rolling black up and down those trails, places like Omaha that you ain't even dare go to, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, and all these Chicago, black to St. Louis, and from St. Louis to Washington, D.C., from the Nat Turner land to the Harriet Tubman property. Dr. Critical Race Truth Bay is on the trail. She'll make it hot for you when you're not on your job. It's the only problem, because when that justice comes, falsehood got to get up and go. When truth comes, the lie got to go somewhere. Huh? The lie goes straight to hell when truth comes. So we got to remember to celebrate our leadership. Give up the flowers while you're living. Don't wait till you have to die to get your flowers.
Salute,
Not in this hour.
salute.
No, sir. to push
Salute.
that million
Salute.
youth. She's getting you, encouraging you to push that million youth button and watch how it comes out. That youth
Salute.
has God on our side in this hour. The divine power that started the movement of this universe as we know it. That power is with our black youth. And those are words that are spoken by the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad himself. Black youth have God on our side at this hour. We must keep God on the side of the righteous and keep God with our youth and continue to rekindle the blaze for the thirst for the Million Youth March to come out, as the brother was saying in the video, to display our talents and to encourage our youth and to keep them in the focus and keep a good image going for our black youth. This is our responsibility as adults, as Asian, as me as a senior citizen. I have to stand up and tip my hat and my kufi to the black youth. And they're making their rhymes and doing that AI. Huh? Come on. They're dead ahead when you go in the back of Best Buy, huh? And call for you a geek squad. 9 times out of 10, the brother run that geek department, huh? It ain't no
Keeping the
coincidence. It
legacy
ain't no
alive.
accidental
Keeping the legacy
genius.
alive.
That's right. Keeping truth and the consequences for there are consequences to embracing the truth too. And you have to manage the divine blessing of the truth. And when you go in that back room, that Geek Squad manager is a young black man, 23, 25 years old, smoking that stuff. He ain't just smoking the Cuban cigar. He's smoking the AI, IT, EZ, any other letter you want to put up on the chalkboard. He's a smoker. He ain't no regular, huh? He's a smoker. And that's what we got to get used to, of encouraging our youth to be at the top of the
He's
IT
a
game.
smoker. He ain't no joker.
That's right. Be at the top of this AI thing. If they say they're developing a power cell, then we want us a power cell, huh? If
Right.
that's the new currency, we want to be rich in technology, rich in Bitcoin, rich in cryptocurrency, rich in the knowledge to manage these resources so they'll never make fun of us again. We must take on the black youth and work with them, encourage them, and live like I live, huh? Live to end all forms of enslavement against we the people, and especially when it comes to our black youth. Hands off of our black woman. Hands off our black man. Hands off our black youth.
That's right.
If you ain't come with
Salute.
tender kit gloves,
That's
stay the
salute.
hell away from us. Because we coming now to shake out the legacy of Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And if you don't like it, then you're going to have to get over it. Because we don't give a damn, huh, about nobody named Uncle Sam. He's not my main man. You understand. And now you know I'm not playing. I thank y'all so much. Come on to Harlem on November the 29th, on that Friday. We want to be live in Harlem, but not only there, but we want you to hold that money, hold the resources for the big buy. And Dr. Critical Race Truth Band and Sisters Today got that youth team. And they're going to put that youth team to work, and they're going to come up with a best buy for us. Stop being a stimulus package for Staples and Draples and goddamn it, a Starbucks with no lux and Murder
Your
King,
own
Burger
genocide.
King, and goddamn it, McDonald's, McDevils. Leave them on one day on this Black Friday and give that to the black vendor and let him buy something for his family and extend his business into a success. Thank you so much. And Black
Black
Power,
power.
and a strong black military, the Black Hour call for Black Revolution. Assalamu alaikum and Black Power.
Walaikum salam. Black power.
I say,
Black
oh,
Power.
Black
Salute.
power, black power.
Yo.
So,
All right. Queen Janae,
yeah.
do we have anyone wants to chime on
Yes,
in?
yes. Just chiming on in. It's hard to come after all of that from our national chairman, Shaky Ma'am Aqua. But we want to make
Right on.
sure that you keep your calendars available for 2025. If you ain't already planned organizing for next year, you're already too late. Okay, so we have the
That part.
Sankofa International Conference in April. That is the week of April the 14th through the 23rd. Now, we're not going to do the march during that week, but we are going to come up with a tentative date for the Million Youth World March. by then. We should have a date by April. But we do want those that are participating and organizing with us to come in Sankofa with us that week of April the 14th through the 23rd. We've already invited Sam Brown and with Proposition 6 to come and host a workshop. And what's the other brother name? Truth Bay.
Brother Terry
Yeah,
Carney, for Put
Terry.
the Guns Down. Uh, yes, we're gonna have a screening of Put the Guns Down, a world epidemic. It has been 4 years in the making, and we're gonna actually debut it in February. But we got a private screening right here in Los Angeles, Culver City to be exact. 4 p.m. press conference, and we got showtime at 6 p.m. that hour. So if you are in the California location, we definitely need you down there to show your support on Put the Gun Downs and violence that is plaguing our community. We have to start from the beginning. So we want to give a shout out to Brother Terry Carney. Check him out. Put the Guns Down, a world epidemic, the history of at least LA gun violence and how it started, and it reflects around the nation. So we look forward to having him, as well as Brother Sam Brown, who authored Proposition 6. These are powerful, powerful people that are resurfacing, and we all coming together again to sing Kofa. And we look forward. If you're not organizing now, as General Janae said, then you're already gone. That freedom train is going to leave. So you better buy your ticket, family. Buy your ticket now and start organizing your people for the future of our Black youth. Black
Yes.
power.
Black power, black power. We just want to thank you
Black
all for
power.
your time tonight. And again, if you are interested in hosting a workshop during the Sankofa International Conference Week, please let me know ASAP. We're gonna hit the ground running. We got 5 good months to really make this thing successful, and we definitely gonna project for the million youth march to be very successful with the recognition that we have now. Those that are ready to say, yeah, it's time for us to do this. Yes, we have to do this in the memory and the legacy of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. You know, no more tributes to Dr. Khalid. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do it.
Let's
It's
do it.
facts.
Let's
Do the
do
work. It's facts.
it. Okay. And
It's facts.
you know, we have been through enough of the highs and experienced the highs and the lows of being in the Black Power revolution, but there has got to be a solution. Revolution is the only solution. That means we got to turn this thing all the way around, y'all.
If you really want to pay tribute,
No
do the
time.
work.
That's right. We don't have no time to play because they're not playing with us. And I guarantee you, the first day Trump get in office, the world is gonna change. It's gonna change,
It
and
already has.
our people are going to feel it. So we have got to put these plans and propositions in place and in order and build our own nation. We really gonna have to become a nation within a nation if we plan on surviving through this economic downturn, because it's going down. Okay.
Oh yes, it's
All
going
right.
down.
Definitely.
Well,
So leave your information. If you come back to this video, leave your information on in the comments and we'll get back with you. You can inbox us. You can reach me or Sister Dr. Truth Bay or Shaky Ma'am Akbar or Brother New World. All of us are liaisons to make this thing happen. Okay. And we're gonna make it happen in the memory of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe. And so we
Like baby
appreciate y'all
kids,
so
he ain't gonna die. He gonna multiply.
well, we have done so already. Well, I'm so grateful again, Black family. We love you all so very much. Just keep it alive, keep it solid, keep healthy, and love one another. We all we got. We all we got. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Black Power Radio, where we'll give more in-depth history of the real Black Panthers. So do you have the Panther spirit in you? Come on, let's see it and let's start getting ready. Get it together because 2025 is ours to shine. Power to the people, power, all power to the people.
Black power, all power to the people.
Black power.